Hello traders, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is FOREX, and today we're going to analyze some few pairs. But before then, we'll look at the previous pairs that we did analyze last week. We see how they went. Okay, so the last week we had these four pairs: Swiss Franc, Aussie Dollar, Nasdaq, and Silver. And then this week we're going to analyze Aussie CAD, Pound, Swiss Franc, and US Oil. Okay, so let's start with our last week pairs. Swiss Franc. Swiss Franc, can see from the daily chart we have this descending channel of which we are at our third touch. Okay, and on our third touch you can see the price pushed up with the three touch pattern over here, and the price reacted to it nicely to the downside, and now we are reversing back up. So according to the overall pattern on this higher time frame, we should be looking for buys. But let's see on lower time frame if the buys are ready or not. So last week we had this pattern over here, which was a lovely one, and we had this key area over here to look at. So I told you guys to wait for this price over here. I told you guys to wait for this push to the downside, followed by a correction to this value area, and then we take it to the downside. But you can see the price didn't give us that correction to our first value area. But that doesn't mean that you should miss out on every move on this sales to the downside, because this was a big move. So what we did is that I look at the next value area, which was below this area over here. So once we broke this low, I just set my order on this value area over here, and you can see the price pushed up corrective to that value area. This value area is a bit complicated to see, of which if you are not in my mentorship program, you won't be able to see it much cleaner. But it was a lovely one, and it was a very clean move, of which it was also a risk one, because we still had another end value area to the upside. So this one, it could have tagged us out because my stop loss was just above this previous high. So if it could have tagged me out, then I'll be looking to take another entry from these areas. Yeah, so those are the two entries that I was looking to enter this pair, and this one was a nice one. This price tagged this entry over here, and price dropped the downside up to the 90% rule, which was this level, and now we are currently pushing to the upside. So what I'm expecting for this price, since on the bigger time frame we should be pushing to the upside, I'll be looking to see if I'll get a pullback over here, perhaps to this value area of mine, then I will enter for the buys. But my first target will be this first value area, because we didn't tag this area. We might tag this area, then again we push again to the downside. So depending on how the price will react in this area, I'll manage my trade according to how the price will react to that area. But if you did take this trade, congrats, because I know some people don't wait even for a correction to enter. Some people use risk entry, of which on this case it will have paid off. So if you did take this trade, congrats to yourself. Okay, congrats to yourself. This one was a nice one. Next we looked at Aussie Dollar, and Aussie Dollar, I remember talking about this three touch pattern on the top over here. If you didn't see our previous analysis, just look at my previous video, my previous analysis on last week, or I'll post it at the top right so that you can just click on it and see it. So I did tell you guys we were around this area, and I told you guys to wait for this push to the downside, followed by another push up for this three touch pattern. So with this three touch pattern, I know this area, which is a risk entry, some people have got in with this area, of which it was a nice clean three touch pattern with no extension. But for us, we were waiting for that pullback. Okay, so on 1 hour time frame, our pullback was to this value area right here. We were waiting for this pullback up to this area, then we look for the drop. And the same time, same as that Swiss Franc, once we broke this low, we had two value areas. Okay, we have this value area and this value area. If you want to know how I get these value areas, just DM me for my mentorship program. That's where I teach these value areas. So I have just, since the two value areas are so near to each other, you can see my stop loss is around 50 pips. I usually set my maximum stop loss I use is 50 pips, because I usually look for over 100 pips move. I don't scalp. Okay, so I just set my order in this area, of which you can see I'm already tagged in, and I've catered also for the second one. So in case this price continues to push up, I'm already catered for this area to be tagged in, and then push to the downside. If it will extend with a week, take me out, then I will re-enter again for the drop. But as you can see, the price has pushed up quite nicely and corrective. And if I'm to go on a lower time frame, which is 15 minutes, you can see the price has tapped our value area with a nice correction pattern over here. Okay, this one was a nice one to see. So this one was a nice indicator that this price will soon start again to drop to the downside of it. That's what I want. So we'll see how the price will go from here, but overall we are looking for those sales. I'm active already on this pair. Look for those sales, guys. Look for those sales. Okay, other pair that we analyzed was Nasdaq, and I remember I did set this value area and this value area on the low over here. And what happened is that Nasdaq respected the value area. As you can see, Nasdaq tapped the value area, extended with a wick, and then we dropped the downside up to 90% of this small ascending pattern. Okay, so according to this pattern, the price has already played out because it has reached all the way to 90% rule, and it didn't give us that pullback that we were waiting for. So on 1 hour, I was anticipating this price. Let me just delete this. Okay, so I was anticipating this price to push the downside, followed by a pullback to this value area of mine. Then I entered the sales up to this area over here. But you can see the price didn't give us that pullback, so I didn't have any entry on this one. I could not just enter because of this over here. Actually wait for the safe entry. So since it didn't give me my entry, I did not take the trade. But if you did take the trade according to how we analyzed, congrats to you also. Okay, so right now price is again pushing to the upside. And I also remember, if you were in my Telegram channel, I gave this trade buying to the upside. I did give this trade, which was a very lovely one. Let me just put it back where I did post. I did post this trade, and I told you guys to look for this pullback up to this area. My stop loss was below this. You can see this week, this one which took this one. For me, this one is the order block. Let me just zoom so you can see it clearly. To me, this one is the order block because it took liquidity of the previous candle. You need to know which order block is the correct. You can see it went below this one. Okay, it went below this previous candle, so it took liquidity of the previous candle, and then the price pushed the upside. So my stop loss was below this candle right here. Okay, I did set my stop loss below that, and then the price tagged me in, and I did post this to my free Telegram channel, and I set my target up to this area. I did give the entry plus the target. I did give all of them. So the price played around on these lows and they pushed all the way to that value area, because I was expecting a reaction from this area since you didn't pull back to this area again. But right now you can see price has moved up to the previous value area and is giving reaction from that area. But the way the price is moving, I'm expecting maybe another push to the upside, break this high, then we drop the downside. Yeah, a move to the downside will be the bigger one, because I'm expecting a bigger correction. I'm expecting a bigger correction up to this area. Then from this area, that's why we look again for the bigger swing trade to the upside. Okay, this bigger correction is what I'm targeting. Okay guys, so be aware on that, and be careful when taking trades over here on this peak. Don't look for buys on this peak over here. Wait for price action to happen first to see the exact direction of the market. Next trade that we took was on silver. Silver, I gave two variations of it, of which this one was the first variation, and it was so nice. This one was a lovely variation, and as you can see guys, price tapped this area with a 3-touch pattern. We broke this high with a 3-touch pattern, and we also had a pattern with this pattern inside of it. Okay, so once the price pushed the upside, we came back down, we broke this low, and that's where I knew I was to wait for my pullback for me to enter the market. Okay, so another trick that we use, this one probably you won't understand it now, but let me just tell you guys, whenever a pattern has been extended, okay, whenever a pattern has been extended, you look for a value area where the pattern extended. You can see this is the area where the pattern extended from. So you can see this cut right here is where the pattern extended to the upside. So once the price starts to push the downside, that's the same area where the price usually comes back to. Okay, so you won't understand this for now, because there is a way of proving that, but I won't go to details on that. just to know that when a price extends to with a certain pattern, it usually comes back to where it extended, that area where it broke the pattern. Okay, so I got tagged in this area. Once the price broke this low, I did set my stop loss to break even, because it has broken the previous low. It should not come back again to my entry. As you can see, price pushed to the upside and it almost took me out, but it didn't tag me. And then the price continued to the downside. So it tapped the 90% rule of this inner pattern. Okay, it tapped the 90% rule of this inner pattern. So once it tapped the 90% rule, I did set my stop loss just above this area, yeah, because I didn't expect it to break this high over here. But since also it's a 90%, we have put 90% of a certain pattern, we might get a bigger correction to the upside, or maybe it may change direction. So my stop loss was just above this candle over here. So when the price broke it, that's why I was taken out. Okay, and right now, according to how the price is moving, when this correction will finish, we'll get another push again to the upside. Yeah, so don't look for sales right now. If you want to get in the trade on silver or gold, I can see one more push up before the sell now, because the sell is the bigger push that will be coming soon. The sell will be coming soon on metals. So that was it on every pair that we analyzed last week, and you can see all of them were good. All of them went into profit. So if you did follow up on them, congrats. Now let's go to our this week pairs. I've already drawn my value areas on this one because I didn't want to go to details on it. So I'll just explain the value areas, why I've put them. Okay, so we have this higher time frame value area, which I got from the weekly, I think, yeah, from the weekly chart, because I usually look at swings as usual, as I told you guys. So my first area for target, if this price starts to push up, is on these areas. Yeah, so this is the order block, but that I'll be targeting extreme high. But since I know how to refine the order block, I don't set it as a zone, I set it as a value area, just a specific area. Yeah, so that's the value area that I expect this price to come back to. But you can see the way the price is moving. We had this pattern which gave us 3 touch. We had this. Okay, this is the pattern that gave us this push to the upside, and also we had another order block over here, which I forgot to draw the exact value area, but it isn't relevant right now. So we tapped that value area, and with a 3 touch pattern the price pushed up. So on higher time frame there is no entry yet. Yeah, on a weekly time frame I can see there is no entry yet. So what we can do right now is wait for this pullback. Since we broke, you can see we broke this previous high over here. So once we have broken this previous high, that's where we are waiting now for that pullback. This is an inducement level. Don't look for trade on this previous low. This one will be broken. Yeah, so once this one is broken, we tap this value area of mine, then that's why now we'll be looking for that swing all the way to these areas. Yeah, that's my analysis of my focus on higher time frame on this one. Now when we drop down to a lower time frame, we need to take advantage of this drop, because even this sell is a big move, so we need to take advantage of that sell. Now the price is reacting to a certain value area again over here on this order block. We are looking for confluence that is pushing this price to the downside. So this is the order block, of which I've already set my exact value area, which we tapped with a 3 touch with a wick. You can see the price tried to reach, did not reach, pushed to the downside, corrected in this area. So some people are looking for this as a correction for continuing the downside, but we didn't tap the value area. Yeah, we didn't tap the value area, so the price had to give us I can say to somehow to, what do we call this one, to give us an ascending channel, so that it will push us all the way to that value area. And you can see this push to the upside is corrective as compared to this push over here. Yeah, so this push was corrective, and we tapped that value area with a nice inverted hammer, and after that inverted hammer we followed by a bearish candle. This is a nice indication that this price will push to the downside. Okay, this is a very nice indication. So we need to look on lower time frame to get an earlier entry on lower time frame pullbacks. So over here we also have this pattern. We have this pattern right here. We have this one, but we can also stretch it up to this one. For me, this one is the one that I drew from 1 hour time frame. And we also have this one. This was a nice ascending channel right here. This is a nice ascending channel. So after this third touch, we can also draw the pattern within pattern move. So we also have this pattern inside it. Yeah, but let's not complicate it. So after this third touch over here, the price is to push the downside. So as you can see, the price has pushed nicely to the downside, and I was expecting this price to, as the other one, as I've told you guys, I was expecting this price to push the downside, followed by a pullback up to this value area and break to the downside once we broke this low. But you can see the price went on and broke another low again. We broke this major low over here. So once we break this major low, we had two value areas. We had this value area and this value area. And you can see from the first one, if we go to a 15 minutes time frame, this was the entry of a pullback on 15-minute time frame, of which I would not have entered on it because I look for 1 hour pullbacks and 4 hour. 15 minutes is only when I'm trying to make my stop loss tight, for example in gold or indices. Yeah. So the second entry is here, which is the recent one, of which right now I'm active in this pair. I've already been tagged in over here. Yeah, I've already been tagged in this one, but I've also catered for the second one. So my stop loss is around 45 pips over there. Yeah. So in case this price decides to push up one more time, then I'll cater for this value area over here. If the price continues to the upside, then since we extended from this value area, we might tap again this value area and drop the downside. So I have all those variations, and whichever the price will take, my bias is towards the downside. So I'll be only looking for sales on my value areas, those three value areas, nowhere else. Okay, because I know one of them will play out. It has to play out, one of them. So right now I'm on this trade to the downside, and first target 90% rule as usual. You can see we are from the higher time frame, but even within this pattern over here, this ascending pattern, just this target alone is 191 pips. You can see we are looking at bigger pictures, not scalping, and our overall target is all the way down here. But of course, we'll also secure some profits when we tap this low. Okay, because this is the previous swing low over there. So this is the swing trade that I've been tagged in currently. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. If you are not in, look for a way to join us in this one. So maybe what you can do is you can set a trend line in this area, of which it has already been broken. Yeah, we have already broken it. So once you have that trend line, we have broken it. So wait for this low to be broken. Wait for this low to be broken with the next candle, or just set a pending order on this low. When it's broken, it tags you in, so you can set your order at this low. Your stop loss will be on this high. Yeah, so that will be a nice entry, and then you target this one for the first target. Yeah, so this is how I can see another entry if you want to enter on this trend line break, because we have already tapped the value area. Okay guys, so watch out on this one also. And next we have pound Swiss franc. Pound Swiss franc, we have been pushing quite corrective in this. I can say this one has been consolidated because it's on the same level, but at the same time something is being formed in this area. Okay, something is being formed because, as you can see, my value area, you can see the order block is this long candle over here, but I've just refined it to a specific value area as I usually do right there, so I don't have to draw all of this. So I'm expecting this price to come back to this area because this is the area that we pushed to the upside aggressive, and we also had this pattern right here. We have an ascending channel. Then from this ascending channel we had an order block, another order block over here, which was, we have already come back to it. So if you didn't take this trade, another opportunity is coming right now, because what I'm seeing is this area again being tagged. Let me just draw it again. So this value area right here is the one that is being tagged, but I have my specific value area already, not a zone. So I'm expecting this price to tag this area, then again we drop the downside. Okay, I mean, you can see this low has not been cleared. You can see we tried to approach it and we didn't. So this space over here will be taken out. So I'm expecting my first target will be in this low. That's my first target, but my overall target is all the way to this low, which I'm seeing this move to be a corrective move. Then we continue to the upside. Yeah, that's my take on this one. And let's just zoom it in to see if we can get something else over here. Okay, now when you go to our 4-hour time frame, we have a very nice value area over here. You can see the price was impulsive to this area. Then from there we had this descending channel. To this descending channel, price pushed up, gave us a pullback, which this one was a nice entry for a push all the way to this area. Came back again to the downside. This one was also another pullback, which was a nice entry. This one is also another nice entry. These entries were so clean, guys. If I'm to show you how this value area were, like, they were specific. These value areas were so specific on our exact levels. Yeah, these were exact levels. I'm just demonstrating, but I won't go into details on how they tapped. These were exact value areas of ours, and right now we are approaching that value area at the top. Okay, so with this value at the top, I'm seeing this pattern over here. Okay, we have this pattern from there. Let me just draw this with those drawings. Okay, so as you can see, we are approaching our value area with this ascending channel, of which I'm expecting after this third touch the market to drop the downside now. So for me, I'm going to take it just on the top over here. Even though this one is our 4-hour chart, I'm going to take it at the top just because if I'm to set my stop loss, you can see the value area and previous high, they are so close. So I won't risk that much. Okay, I won't risk that much. So for me, I'll be looking at around 50 pips stop loss right there. So for me, I'll be looking to take this trade once the market has opened. Once we tap that area, and our first target will be in this low right here. That will be our first target, this area. So our minimum profit right now, we are expecting it to be quite massive, yeah, because this one is pound Swiss franc. So we expect a very nice profits on this one. So that's another one, but this one is all, I can say it's a risk entry, but to me, if you know what you are doing, then this one should be okay. Okay, I'm so confident with this trade. That's why I'm choosing to take it from there. But the right thing is to wait for a push to the downside followed by a correction, then we enter. So for me on this correction, I'll be looking to add another entry, or if I'll be taken out because it can extend with a week, takes me out, that's where I will wait for this correction, and then I'll enter this trade to the downside. Yeah, and also remember, once we broke this overall trend line on this pattern, we might also get another correction for continue to the downside, so we'll have another entry again on that area. So be alert on this one, guys. This one looks so nice. This one looks so nice. Okay, lastly, let's look at the last pair, which is US oil. It's been quite a while since we analyzed the US oil, so today let's just take a look at it and see how the price has been moving. This drop, the downside, it's so corrective, man. This drop is so corrective. Yeah, you can see this push to the upside was corrective, and now this push to the downside is also corrective. So we're expecting a push to the upside very soon. We're expecting a push to the upside, but first we need to get a key area where this corrective move might be targeting. So the first area that we are looking is the previous low, which is this one. Yeah, that's the previous low, and also we can also cater for this one, because this one can take it. We can take this one as an order block right here, of which you can see we have reacted to it right here. But let's see what we have. So we have this key area. My main target is this lower one, not this top one. This lower one is the main one, because this is the area where we had this pattern right here. and then the price broke to the upside. So we had this one, yeah. So that's why I'm targeting this low right here. So how the price is moving currently, it's quite corrective and it's pushing to the upside. Same thing as you can see how the price pushed over here, pushed up, dropped again, pushed up, dropped again, pushing up for another drop. Like this pattern and this pattern and this pattern, they are all the same, guys. They are all the same. It's only that they are in different sizes, okay, but they are same. They are same. So what we should expect from oil is a drop the downside, maybe to this one or this one. We break it, then we push to the upside. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing on US oil according to the price structure, the way what's happening right now. Okay, so if I were to come up with our patterns, first we'll have this key area to watch out for. Yeah, remember this is an inducement level, so there is high chance we might break this level. Okay, we might break this because this one is the previous higher low. This is the previous higher low at the beginning. You can see we started pushing up from here. So this one is the previous higher low. So we expect the price to break it. Then that's why we'll be looking for ourselves to the downside. Once we have broken that area is when we'll be looking for just the downside. And to draw my value area, my zone, I'll draw a zone because this one I didn't draw my value area. Let's see. So that's the area I'll be expecting this price to tap. Then we drop the downside. Okay, that's the area I'll be expecting this price to tap, and then we have our target right there, 90% rule, because I'm already seeing this as a pattern right here for a drop the downside. Now let's look at 4 hour. Let's see what we have now on 4 hour. What we are having is, I'm seeing this area right there. Perhaps if I go to 1 hour, you might see this anchor point cleanly, and this one right there. So that's the pattern I'm seeing over there. Let me see if I can invert it. Maybe you might see it clearly. Yeah, I think you can see that area cleanly when I've inverted this. Let me just adjust this order block to this week right there. Okay, so this is the pattern that I'm expecting the price to finish, and then we push to the upside. And if you look at it again, we have this inner pattern right here. Yeah, we're having pattern within a pattern. And with oil, this one now is becoming a bit much clearer now. Okay, so I'm expecting this price to continue pushing the downside. Then we tap this area, push up, we get that our entry, and then we continue to the downside. Let me just invert it back. Yeah, so this is the focus that I have on US oil, and I'm expecting it to play out. Which it will be so nice. You don't have to look for your entry at the top, because since we have a key area that will be broken, this price will most likely come back down and come back to this same value area before we push into the downside. So you don't have to take that entry at the top. You just wait for your confirmation right here. It will come back to this value area if it will push down, that is. Okay, so that's it for my weekly watch list, guys. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to join my mentorship program, the link is in the description. Also for my free Telegram channel, link is in the description. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers, guys.